Hello there. While Remainers, the EU and the media point the finger at the UK government for being in turmoil, it's actually the EU that's got the problems. Just as Theresa May travels to Brussels for the EU's Eastern Partnership Summit, we hear that Ireland could be facing a snap general election that could disrupt the Brexit negotiations. But that's not all. There are some other issues that the EU has that overshadow any that the UK may have. There is a hung parliament in the main EU powerhouse, Germany, with Merkel's future hanging by a thread. This has led many pundits to now think that France may step into the leadership breach, but Macron is now looking far from comfortable as the French voters start to question their decision. The Visegrad countries are looking to push the EU eastwards. Question: who's going to pay? With Poland having a spat with the Commission about how it runs its own legal system. Hungary is building fences, so much for the concept of freedom of movement. The centre-right has swept to power in Sicily, and the right looks set to prosper in Italy, whose banks are looking decidedly dodgy. Youth unemployment is a major problem in much of the southern part of the EU. Also, as I reported in an earlier video, the Eurocrats themselves have a huge pension deficit, somewhere in the region of €60 billion, and making that public cost the whistleblower his job. And to top it all, the ongoing problem of the teetering Greek economy threatens to bring the whole house of cards down. The constant restructuring of Greek debt is not for the benefit of the Greek people. No, they've been left to rot. It is because the EU needs Greece to keep servicing its debt to ensure that the banks that lent them the money remain solvent and afloat. Now factor in the loss of the UK net contribution to the EU, and you can see that the European Union isn't going to have an easy time of it in the coming years. Also, many people on both the Leave and Remain side of the argument believe that the EU pulling the European capital of culture from the UK was unwarranted and one-sided, especially as this was an already agreed commitment. You know, like the ones that the EU are insisting that we keep to. Now, some may say that the latest UK economic data doesn't look too hot, with Remainers putting all the blame on the Brexit vote, of course. But as Ben Chu, the economics editor of The Independent, points out, many of our current problems stem from our inability to address the UK productivity puzzle since the Great Recession. The UK's productivity had been increasing through boom and bust by about 2% a year for decades until the 2007 credit crunch. After this, our output per hour has flatlined. After recessions, UK productivity has usually bounced back, and expectations were that this would happen again, but it has remained stubbornly stagnant. The Resolution Foundation has calculated that the past decade has actually been the worst for UK's productivity growth since 1812, writes Ben Chu. So a lack of productivity growth has been the main driver behind our recent slack economic performance, not the vote to leave the EU. The US economist Robert Gordon has put forward the view that a long run of technologically driven productivity growth has come to an end, and that this near-zero productivity growth could be the new normal. Bear that in mind as we go forward. In his article, Ben Chu goes on to say that economists are generally agreed that Brexit is more likely than not to act as a drag on productivity growth, but I disagree. Once we have immigration under control and the supply of cheap labour starts drying up, then I think we'll start seeing positive changes in both productivity and wages. But it will take time. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, Please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.